Beloved listeners, thank you for arriving here with your attention and your time. I do not take either lightly. Time is the only currency that never refunds, and attention is the only asset that compounds whether you intend it to or not. So if you are here, listening quietly, breathing, ready to reflect, then you are already doing something right. I will speak to you today not as a performer, not as a motivator, and certainly not as someone who believes life is fair. I speak as someone who has watched cycles repeat, fortunes rise and vanish, confidence turn into arrogance, and patience turn into quiet power. I speak as someone who has lost money, lost time, lost certainty, and learned from each loss only because I was willing to look at it without flinching. Our subject is simple to say and difficult to live. Train your mind to win in every situation. Not by winning every battle, not by dominating others, not by controlling outcomes, but by becoming mentally unbreakable, strategically flexible, and emotionally disciplined, so that no situation owns you. Let us begin. The first illusion, that winning is external. Most people believe winning happens out there. They think it lives in outcomes, in applause, in money, in recognition, in being right. This belief quietly ruins lives, because if winning depends on external events, then you are always at the mercy of forces you do not control. Markets change, people disappoint, bodies age, luck fluctuates. An untrained mind says, I win when things go my way. A trained mind says, I win when I respond correctly, no matter what happens. This is not optimism. It is realism sharpened by discipline. You do not train your mind to control the world. You train it to remain effective inside the world as it is. That distinction alone separates those who endure from those who collapse. Mental winning begins with subtraction. Let me be brutally honest. You do not need more motivation. You do not need more information. You do not need more affirmations. You need fewer illusions. Winning starts by removing lies you tell yourself. The lie that you are special enough to skip fundamentals. The lie that emotions deserve obedience. The lie that discomfort is a signal to stop. An old investor learns early that progress is subtraction before addition. Before I ever learned how to make money, I learned how to stop losing it. Before you train your mind to win, you must train it to stop sabotaging you. And sabotage is usually emotional, not intellectual. 2. The core mental model, you are not your thoughts. This may be the most important idea you will hear today. You are not your thoughts. Thoughts are events. They appear. They suggest. They provoke. But they are not commands. An untrained mind treats thoughts as truth. A trained mind treats thoughts as data. Fear shows up, data. Anger shows up, data. Doubt shows up, data. The mistake most people make is identification. They say, I am afraid. I am angry. I am uncertain. A disciplined mind says, fear is present. Anger is present. Uncertainty is present. That small linguistic shift creates distance. And distance creates choice. Choice is where winning lives. 2. Winning does not mean feeling good. Let us dismantle another fantasy. If your definition of winning requires feeling confident, calm, or inspired, you will lose often, because life does not care about your emotional preferences. Winning often feels like boredom, like restraint, like silence, like waiting, like doing nothing while others overreact. Some of the best decisions I ever made felt deeply uncomfortable at the time. Some of the worst decisions felt exciting. Emotion is not a reliable guide. It is a weather report, not a navigation system. Train your mind to act on principle, not mood. The discipline of delay. One of the greatest advantages you can cultivate is the ability to pause. Most people are impulsive not because they are stupid, but because they are uncomfortable with silence. They rush to reply, rush to decide, rush to react. An old investor learns this truth. The first reaction is almost always wrong. Not morally wrong, strategically wrong. The market rewards those who wait for clarity, while others chase certainty. In life, the same principle applies. Train your mind to insert a pause between stimulus and response. Even a few seconds of silence can save you years of regret. 2. You always win when you learn. Here is a harsh reality that also happens to be liberating. You will not always get what you want. Sometimes you will lose money. Sometimes you will lose status. Sometimes you will lose relationships. Sometimes you will lose time you can never recover. If your definition of winning excludes loss, you will become bitter. But if your definition of winning includes learning, adaptation, and resilience, then no experience is wasted. The mind that wins says, "What is this teaching me? What pattern did I miss? What assumption failed?" This is not self-blame. It is self-ownership. Ownership is power. Control the controllables. You cannot control outcomes. You cannot control other people. You cannot control randomness. You can control. Fill your preparation, low your effort. Fill your standards, low your response. An untrained mind obsesses over outcomes. A trained mind obsesses over process. Process compounds. Outcomes fluctuate. This is why professionals look calm under pressure. They are not hoping. They are executing. 2. Emotional mastery is not suppression. Let me be clear. Training your mind does not mean suppressing emotion. Suppression leaks. It explodes later. Mastery means observation without obedience. You allow emotions to exist without letting them drive. Think of yourself as the pilot, not the turbulence. The turbulence can be violent. The pilot stays focused. This is not talent. It is practice. 2. The power of long-term thinking. Short-term thinking creates emotional volatility. Long-term thinking creates psychological stability. When you zoom out far enough, most problems lose their emotional charge. Ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? Will this decision age well? Is this noise or signal? A trained mind lives in decades, not moments. This is why impatience is so expensive. 2. Train through repetition, not inspiration. Mental strength is built the same way physical strength is built. Repetition, load, recovery. Not speeches, not hype, not intensity alone. You train your mind every time you do what you said you would do. Resist an unnecessary reaction. Choose discipline over relief. Keep a promise when no one is watching. These are mental repetitions. They are quiet. They are invisible. They are powerful. The final advantage is self-trust. When your mind is trained, something profound happens. You stop needing certainty. You trust your ability to adapt. You stop fearing mistakes. You stop fearing discomfort. You stop fearing judgment. Because you know whatever happens, you will respond intelligently. That is winning in every situation. Not because you dominate life, but because life cannot dominate you. Cool. Closing words. Beloved listeners, if there is one thing I want you to remember, it is this. A trained mind does not seek easy paths. It seeks correct ones. It does not panic under pressure. It becomes precise. It does not demand guarantees. It builds resilience. Winning is not a destination. It is a manner of thinking, a way of standing, a refusal to be internally defeated, regardless of external circumstances. Thank you for listening with patience and seriousness. Train your mind, and you will find that even when you lose externally, you are still winning where it matters most.